A very good evening and welcome to the Caz and Daz show. My name is Darren Paul. I'm a sports commentator. I'm a Basketball England contributor and commentator, and I am joined by the Empress of Manchester basketball, the hardest working woman in Manchester basketball, but not just Manchester basketball. Oh no, she's gone global, baby. It is Caz EB. Caz, how you doing?
Woo! That's a great introduction. Could you follow me around and introduce me like that?
Mate, for a GB commentator on the British Broadcasting Corporation, holy boats, Cazzy B. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done this, and I've been up to stuff since. It's been exciting. Done a few things.
Stuff all really. Yeah, so go on then. GB commentator extraordinaire. You can gloat. You got the big one. I did. Seriously, how was it?
It was awesome. It was awesome. So I had the opportunity to commentate GB in the Eurobasket qualifier game against Portugal, start of February. A fantastic game, an amazing game. Obviously, GB have qualified now, so we know they're heading to Slovenia. But yeah, what an opportunity! Such a fantastic experience getting to commentate with Siobhan Pryor. Then listening to myself back on the BBC, which was a bit wild. But yeah, it was brilliant. It was an amazing experience. And just the games as well, those two qualifying games were just, they were so good. They showed just what GB can do, and it was so exciting.
How was it working with Siobhan Pryor?
Do you know what? It was a blast. It was an absolute blast. She's so brilliant. And she's so... Obviously, she's played, hasn't she? She's played for so long. She knows the game inside out and everything. And just her insight is so interesting for me as a fan to listen to. And just when I'm listening to her do games anyway, I always enjoy it. But yeah, it was great to work with her.
It's so good having a really... Well, it's always great having a co-commentator, really.
Yeah. It doesn't always happen.
Doesn't always happen. So like not tomorrow's Friday. On the weekend, I'll be doing Anglia Ruskin, and that will be me, myself, and I, which I enjoy. I know you enjoy a solo game. But last weekend, I had the absolute pleasure, I'm going to talk a bit more about it in a bit, of the East London Phoenix taking on the Loughborough Lightning in the British Wheelchair Basketball Women's Premier League. Now, I know that you are, again, hardest working person in the world. You do loads of wheelchair basketball. And I was lucky enough to commentate with Joe Jairatna, who is obviously Paralympic hero for this country, silver in 96 Paralympic Games, played in 3 Paralympic Games, and his knowledge, insights, and I know you get this with Robin, just completely changes everything. Because it was my first wheelchair game with a co-commentator, and he was like, talking after the game, I was like, that was awesome. I love that. Brilliant. Cheers.
It opens it up so much, doesn't it?
Much,
yeah. You learn. Really, you're just constantly learning, and the people, they can point, like Robin's always pointing something out. And and then you see it next time, you get it, and it really helps you understand it even more. And then it's just exciting.
Yeah. So shout out to all the co-commentators out there. You guys, you're doing great stuff. You love to see. Righto, we've got heaps to get through, frankly. But first, jersey check. Cazzy B, what is this?
University of Canberra Caps. It's my Brit Smart jersey. Brit Smart, friend of the pod.
Yeah, fair.
Don't be booing Canberra. Don't be booing Canberra.
These things happen.
The mystics of the WNBL. No.
That's not a good thing. Nobody wants to hear that. Do they?
The parallels this season. If you want an in-depth deep dive into how Canberra Capitals and the Manchester Mystics are the same team in different leagues, like I've got time.
Go on then. Give us the quick breakdown.
They're basically both rebuilding, new coaches, new faces, loads of young players, like one vet, a vet that's 25 in Manchester. Brit Smart, practically the only vet in Canberra. The similarities really are interesting. A lot of injuries early on in the season, so the teams and the rosters that they're playing with just aren't what was expected. Yeah. I mean, I can go further. I don't know if anyone's really interested in that.
I'm wearing a beautiful Christmas gift of my brother-in-law who lives in New Zealand. So here we go. Boom.
It's nice that. I like it. I like it.
Breakers. We've got some Manuka Doctor. There it is.
So we're both representing the Australian leagues.
That's right. New Zealand. Yeah, they play in the NBL. Not only are they playing in the NBL, they are currently tied one apiece in the finals, which is in the championship series with the Sydney Kings. It is 1-1, 5-game series. It's the next one is on Friday, 7:30 p.m. AEDT. Sydney taking on an entire country. So, fingers crossed that the good guys get the dub and also champion.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, mine's Athletic.
The only other champion. What's yours? Canterbury.
Athletic.
Oh. The only other, what's it called? Champion stuff I've got is Welsh football shirt from 2008 to 2010, I think it was. Right. Cool. Don't know why I'm saying right all the time. Probably consume too much Australian media. Now, we've got heaps to get into. Any questions, any comments, anything? If you want to compliment my beautiful road jersey, because the home jersey is the pink that we can see, wherever that is. Point on a scroll. Get in touch. You know that we love that. Caz, I was writing this week's WNBL Team of the Week.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the standings of the league, and I was like, we've got to talk about this. It's been too darn tooting long. Because the playoff race, my friend.
It's heating up.
The playoff race it's pretty spicy stuff. It's actually pretty interesting at both ends of the table. Team Silent Kestrels, who have been brilliant, but they have been in some ridiculously tight games that you're looking at and being like, what are you doing there, guys? How has that happened? Cardiff, who, if we look at the standings, having a really tough season. They're 1-19. They took them to overtime, and it was like razor thin as well. Faye and Dean had a great performance, and to take them over the top in that one. They had a tough one against Reading a few weeks ago. Faye and Dean did the business and took them over the top in that one. This weekend gone, they just edged out a win over Ipswich. Faye and Dean did the business in that one. You're getting a bit of a...
Oh, are we saying Faye and Dean could be the MVP of this season?
For me, totally in the conversation. No, I think she's so... I'd be quite surprised if she doesn't win the MVP, which is funny in a way, not half funny, because I've not given her that many Player of the Week awards.
Yeah.
Because when she's done her stuff, somebody in that week has done something absurd, typically. But the consistency with the level she's playing at, I think she's one of the key players. I say one of, because Velky Cleave as well just hasn't missed a step since coming back. Was it now 2 years? 2 years ago? She's just been immense. And that whole team's working really well together. Dorney as well, playing great basketball. But Faye and Dean has just been so consistently one of the best players, if not the best player, on the best team that is currently looking really handy. Ooh, wrong one. For the title. TVC, who are a very complete team. They've had a really great season as well. In second, 14-3. And of course, they won the cup. The Cola Southwark Pride, a big rebuild. Yeah, a medium-sized rebuild for them. They lost quite a lot of players graduating last year. 14-5, but they've still been tough. ARU in fourth, 11-6. So I think they might have a couple of games to make up. They do. Again, without capturing Sean, that's obviously I think the really big loss for them, but they're doing a great job this year. Now, Where I'm particularly interested is the battle between London Lions and Ipswich Basketball Club. Ipswich 8 and 10, London Lions 7 and 11. Also, really important to note, Ipswich have the head-to-head by a lot.
So how many games do we have left?
One game was a complete blowout.
Okay.
Said with respect, but the scoreline was pretty substantial. The other one, a really healthy win for London. They beat him, but it didn't overwrite. I think the difference is still about 20. I just looked at this briefly the other day, but the remaining games are very interesting. Both sides have a couple of winnable games. Both sides have a couple of really tough games, and I think it's just going to be really interesting to see how it unfolds. Loughborough, they've been an up and down team this year. They've had a really tricky one. Alia El-Shabrawi, oh my goodness, she's just so good. Her numbers are still ridiculous, and she is, for me, the best player on that team, or at least the best performing player on that team. So Loughborough, if Lions hit, and if Richey plays and does what she can do, I think Lions could win that. They're at home. They've got TVC. That's brutally tough. I do not expect them to win that game. They're playing Anglia Ruskin at home. I would expect Anglia Ruskin to win, but there's always a chance. There's always that chance. And Brent away. Again, Brent started the season super hot. Then they really cooled off. They really tapered off. And to get back into things and get that rhythm. But who knows? Local game, potentially a lot on the line. Maybe something to prove, London Lions. Maybe Brent have something to prove. Don't know. Could go either way. It's a really interesting one. Ipswich, they're playing Bristol. For me, that should be a win for Ipswich. Bristol are having a really tough season, really struggling. The other three, I'd expect Kohler to win. I'd expect Reading to win. That's no disrespect to anybody involved, but Kohler and Reading, they're having really strong seasons. Brent, again, the potential difference maker. Again, who knows? Who knows how that one's going to go? I just think it's really interesting, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. I think for me, the playoff, like the chase for the 8, is a little bit more interesting than the chase for the title right now, because I mean, if Solent keep manufacturing wins, they're playing like a champion. They're getting into these tough situations. They're getting out of those situations with 2 points and positive outcomes. So I'm really
have Solent and TVC got each other in the final stretch, or have they already played their games?
Caz. It says here playoff race. Yeah. Does it not say playoff race?
It does.
Yeah. Okay. That's what we're talking about right now. I will double check. I need to check that. Caz, can you see the comments?
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to read that comment, and I will just quickly double check what you have asked me to double check.
Yeah, so Chester's saying London Lions 2 is back in Abbey, isn't it? Because they're back in Abbey. London Lions relationship has kind of ended. So, yeah, it's not London Lions, it's back in Abbey, I believe.
No, it's still London Lions 2. It will be. It is Barking Abbey London Lions 2 is the official full title. Though they used the London Lions logo. So primarily it is London Lions 2 branding now this season. It's been a sort of a weird halfway house, and now I think they kind of went mostly all in. But at the end of the season, that will be changing. Hot diggity dog, Caz. Am I looking at the right thing? I am. On the 19th, Sunday, the 19th of March, 4 p.m. If NBL Live aren't there, then John Hobbs, I know you're watching. You might not be watching live, but I know you're watching. Check it out. Get down there. TVC host the Team Solent Kestrels. So
that's a game to watch.
Very possibly. I mean, could it be all sewn up by then? Who is to say? Loughborough Riders are hosting Team Solent Kestrels next weekend. So Kestrels, they have a weekend off. What are TVC up to? Apologies for not doing a graphic. My co-host threw me under the bus. I have the pleasure of commentating ARU TVC this weekend. And then it's the Brent Bulls for TVC, then London Lions 2, as they are officially known. Then it's TVC Team Solent, and then it's the Reading Rockets on their final game in March. So TVC have a couple of games in hand, which is really important. Can they beat Anglia Ruskin? Yes, they can. Will they beat Anglia Ruskin? Find out. Focus Hoops from 4 p.m. Can they beat Brent? Yes. Do I expect them to beat Brent? Very possibly. I'm going to go with yes. No disrespect to anybody, as always. I'm just looking at what I've seen, what the numbers tell me, blah, blah. Do they beat Lions? Very, very possibly, yes. But who knows? That's why we play the game. And then it's down to that one. So that should be a huge game. And if things play out like they have played out, that could really be the title decider. If you can kill more time, Caz, is that the same comment or is that another comment we have? And again, thanks so much, Chester. It's great to hear from you.
I do a bad job at this when you tell me to fill.
Not at all. You don't need to fill anymore. The head-to-head is edged so far by Team Solent Kestrels. My apologies. To the tune of, is that 33 points? Yes.
Okay.
33 points. The first game was Team Solent Kestrels 72, Thames Valley Cavaliers 39.
So what happened there?
Yeah.
Was this early in the season? Was this early on?
It was opening game. It was opening game of the season.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Faye Dean happened. She had 27 points. Christina Velke-Cleave had 15. And Megan Dorney had 14. And TVC's top scorer was Kat Goldsby with 11, Robin Ainge with 9, and Elaine Traylin with 7. I've not actually Traylin. I guess Traylin.
You're right.
Yeah. So first game in the season. I don't know how many reps TVC had together. I remember it being pretty surprising at the time. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me. So yes, the title race is very exciting. I mean, that TVC team at the start of the season was weird. I'm just reminding myself now, looking at the results. They edged by Bristol by 3 points, and then they beat Cola by 19. And they lost to Ipswich by 11. And then it's been pretty plain sailing since. They beat Anglia Ruskin last time, 83-49. They have lost recently. They lost to somebody. Ipswich. They lost 90-86 to Ipswich. So again, anything could happen because I don't think Ipswich were in a brilliant run of form when that happened. So playoff race, well exciting. The title race, more exciting than I gave it credit, but it's going to get more exciting as we go forward. So again, graphics for that when Caz isn't completely burying me. I haven't accounted for Brent and Loughborough getting pulled into the race for the 8. I mean, Brent could be potentially, depending on how it goes for them. And Loughborough, we'll watch that space. At the moment, for me, the most obvious story was London Lions versus Ipswich. That's
so Brent must be pretty pleased with how they've done this year, being their first season in D1 after getting promoted from Division 2. You know,
I would say so. They've done a cracking job. 9-6 so far on the year. They started super hot. I think they were 5-0 to kick off the year. It was awesome. It has definitely cooled down for them a little bit, but they're still doing a really brilliant job. So yeah, good job to all at the Brent Bulls. They have they've really done a great job by Tope, who of course was one of the Lions assistants last year. Right, Kazi B. WBBL. What's going on there? I don't have a standings for the WBBL, but
can I guess who's
as a
top?
WBBL commentator, you can talk us through it.
So heading near the end of the season, aren't we? About six-ish games left for a lot of teams. And I guess the big news that we had a couple of weeks ago now, we should have been on this, but London with their first loss in 52 games. 52 game winning streak. And Caledonia beat them by a point.
Did anything important happen before that? Any big changes made, or was it a blip? Was it just one of those? Caz has closed her eyes so as to not think about.
I mean, so there was they have a new coach.
Oh. Was that after? That was after though, right? That was after the
loss. Before the loss,
they got a new coach.
No, they got a new coach before the loss.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty shocking news, was it not?
Yes, it was. Yeah, so Mark Clark no longer head coach of the London Lions women's team. Obviously, just a great coach for women's basketball in the country as well. He's won so much, he's achieved so much, and he's really been an integral part of turning that franchise around from 4 years ago as well. And look what they've achieved last year, this year, and the end of the 2021 season. We're in 2023, aren't we now?
Right.
Yeah, done a fantastic job, and it's I'm sure we'll see him around the game. Obviously, he's still with the Lions organisation, but yeah, so that was a big shock that Caledonia beat them. Although I have to say, and I can't find my proof of this, which is annoying me, but I said at the start of the season that I thought if someone was going to beat London, it was going to be Caledonia, because they were the team that looked to be almost kind of trying to replicate them a little bit with the investment they've had, what they've got going on with the Gladiators, obviously bringing in Chantel Handy. And they've got a really, they've been really together this season. They've been really exciting to watch. And I mean, that was a fantastic game. I mean, Caledonia were up a massive amount at the end of the first. I think it was almost a 21-6 first quarter. And then Lions fought back, and we had a 1-point win at the end for Caledonia after Chantel Handy hits a couple of clutch free throws, because she's Chantel Handy and she's clutch and she can shoot free throws.
Yeah. It's Chantel Handy. I mean, what?
Do you know, it makes me so sad I'm not going to see her in a GB jersey again, because we should mention actually that the Portugal game was her last game. She's announced her retirement from international basketball, which I'm not ready for that.
Was that her first game after the international break as well? Why do I feel like that might have been?
No, I think they hadn't. I think, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a pretty shocking win, though clearly, well deserved. And it's it's a shame in a way that Mark Clark didn't get to see out the rest of the season. I understand fully the logic of, if you know that you're going to make a change, make the change when the time is right for the organization, for the players. If you're going to, I think what this possibly shows potentially is real confidence in the group, that, they're at least thinking about bringing a lot of them back for next year.
Yeah.
But it's also a real opportunity for the players to really, cement themselves a spot moving forward. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. You got a new coach. You need to. They want to see how you'll fit the system, how you'll fit their system, and then you get an off season. I guess you get to build it in what you want rather than what you inherit. And
of course, they've still got Mark Clark within the organisation. Yeah. He's moved into a role upstairs, and well deserved, because he's done amazing things with that program. Obviously, they've had the investment, but you can give me that money. I'm not doing what he's done, and nor will a lot of coaches. It's not as simple as, oh, we had money. Well, yeah, okay, great. But look at the ethos that teams had. I refer to those timeouts now as a Mark Clark timeout. When I say those timeouts, I think we all know what I mean. The timeout where you're up 50 and you don't do what he wants, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get it right. That kind of thing. Plus the players that he did bring in, like Z, she's been awesome. Of course, the iconic, go on, say it.
Jolene Warner.
Jolene Warner. I mean, just awesome people to have around the program. Going to help build it, help grow it, and yeah, awesome stuff. Heck of a coaching career if this is it. That's Chess Donnelly, London Lions versus Caledonian Giants, the most viewed live game on the WBBL YouTube channel ever, and quite right too. Absolutely. But are the London Lions running away with the season? No, they are not. Apologies if that's a bit dinky. I can't make it any bigger.
It's going to look really
don't worry, because I can talk you through it. Leicester Riders are top of the tree, 12-1 record ahead of the London Lions. The London Lions do have a game in hand, and they do currently have the head-to-head over Leicester. The Hatters are in third, which is going to make Caz really excited, happy. The Suns are in fourth, and the Gladiators in fifth. I tell you what.
Only because they played less games. Because they're 9
3 losses. They've still got 3 losses, but yeah, they have played 1 fewer game than Sheffield, 2 fewer games than Sevenoaks. So yes, but you got to win those extra games. Kazzy B. Title race in the WBBL looks pretty spicy. It looks like almost anybody get into it. But congratulations, Caz. Your Mystics with the dub on the weekend.
Yeah, they got their first league win of the season. They did have a win over Cola in the trophy in January, but yeah, first win of the season. And it's just, a massive credit to that team and the players on that team that they've been fighting all season long. They've been dealt a really rough hand with injuries, players leaving. It's just they've had their starting 5 for 3 games. We're nearly at the end of the season, and they've just been dealt such a rough hand, and they have held their heads up high. They've not got down about it. They've just kept going and going and trying to push themselves, push each other, and get better. And it was so good to see them come away with the win against Nottingham on Saturday. So an 81-73 win. That one was.
So I was a little bit hasty. I wonder, could I have been too hasty? I said almost anybody can get into the playoffs. There are 8 games left.
I don't think the Mystics can get in the playoffs.
8th place Durham, who have admittedly played 2 fewer games, have 8 points in the standings with a 4-8 record.
Yeah.
The Manchester Met Mystics have a 1-13 record and 2 points. Yeah.
They have to play London for the last game of the season, though.
Okay. Still 7 games.
So you'd have to go unbeaten for 6 of them.
7.
7
have to go unbeaten. What? And which would be 8?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, it could happen. I think the odds might be slightly against them.
Oh yeah, I would not bet on this right now. I'm not a gambling person myself, but they do have the Celticorn. Tell us about the Celticorn.
Oh my goodness, the Keltinator.
No, the Celticorn.
Well. So Sam Keltos, for anybody that has not seen Sam play, and I like
the Metrolink Keltos. Sorry, I'm done.
If anyone has more nicknames for Sam, throw them out there. We know I like to shout about players and things, but in particular, so there's a lot of players on this Mystics team, and Sam is, I particularly want to highlight. But I do feel like when you're on a losing team, you don't get as much, as recognition. You don't get the eyes on you, and you maybe go a bit under the radar as well. But Sam Keltos is having, quite frankly, a ridiculous season. She's also having a historic season. And if you haven't seen her play, please watch the next Mystics game. She is so efficient in the way she plays. There was a game against Newcastle a few weeks ago. She had 20, I think it was 28 points. She didn't miss a shot until the end of the third quarter, and it was a forced almost end of shot clock shot. She didn't miss until the end of the third quarter, and she's the leading scorer, and she's the league's leading scorer at that point. She's like, the way she knows what shot to take, when to pass it out to get someone else a shot. Her basketball IQ is off the chart. She's so exciting to watch, and she's 6'4", I believe. But so she plays under the basket, fantastic player under the basket. But then she goes out, shoots threes, and brings the ball up. She can do a bit of everything. She's a big and she's a guard, and she's just fantastic. She's what's she averaging? 19.5 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, and 2.9 assists. And a couple of weeks ago, she moved into 16th place as the all-time Mystics points scorer in 12 games. 12 games. She's got 232 points in 12 games. And then she moved up to 14th place in overall rebounds because someone's got a massive spreadsheet of all this information and wants to share it.
Who's that someone, Caz?
Me. But
people try and say that you're not biased in any way.
But Sam, she's a fantastic player. She's out of Brock University from Canada. She played in the Big V League in the summer, so sort of April to August-ish in Australia. She was just leading in most categories there because she does for the Westport Steelers. She's in her first season here, so it's her first pro season. And I'm so excited to see where her career takes her. And I really hope she has a long career and just shows people what she can do, because she's so exciting to watch. And I think it's always really important to have that draw on your team, and she's definitely a draw. I mean, she's also playing books as well. So she's playing for two teams and she's dominating both of them as well. I watched her play a couple of Wednesdays ago, and oh my goodness, like once she was triple teamed. She was triple teamed and just was like, okay, but I'll just still score on you, and then I'll block you, and I'll score on you again because I'm the Celticorn. So like just a fantastic player, Sam Keltos. And it's been a tough season for them. Players out with injury. So Abby Nihu, so they signed another big inside, has been out. I think in the second game she was injured, only the second game. Claire Abbott's been out with injury. Shea Sanchez, again, another great player. And it's just been a really tough season for them, but they've dealt with it fantastically. They've been so resilient. They play with so much heart, and I'm just very proud to see them get a win, and just really, really pleased for them as a team.
And now they've got one win. They're going to have that taste for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mystics outside shout at the playoffs. Don't.
There we go. Should we go all in? Let's go all in.
Not put money on it. Good Lord, don't put money on it. Jeez.
So
you're not listening. Put it down. I don't know. We'll review this when we do another podcast in about 6 months. It'll be cool.
But you know what? It gives you that confidence boost as well, and they deserved it. They deserved to win because they've been playing hard, and like I say, they've not once let their heads drop, and that's really, really difficult to do in a season where you aren't winning, and when some of the games have been not as close as maybe you would like them to be. It's really tough, and they've really dealt with it, admirably, and so that's a blueprint for people, and they're young as well. I feel like you don't see this often with a young team that would have dealt with it so well. So yeah, massive credit to them, and they're traveling to Cardiff on Saturday, so that's their next game as they take on the Archers. So 2-game winning streak coming up. Could
be. Archers 4-9 on the year. Oh, Archers in the playoffs. Oh, that does sound. Ooh.
Let me tell you who I am very excited to see in that.
I do like the sound of that. I'm just saying.
In that Cardiff game, for that Cardiff team, Lauren Seiki, her passing. Oh my goodness, her passing is phenomenal. She's such an exciting facilitator, and I've yet been able to see her play against the Mystics because I've been, out of the country in Sydney when she's been over, and I'm really started to see her play in person.
Did you go to the World Cup, Caz?
I did, didn't I? I went to the World Cup. I watched the 20 games at the World Cup. Yeah.
Mate, that feels like a while ago.
It was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, just a bit. We had a question in the chat. Mm-hmm. from Chester asking about the Bucks final. I'm desperately trying to find the answer to your question.
I saw the men's one the other day, but I haven't seen the women's one.
Was that Cambridge Uni in the men's final? I know they were in the final of something. I don't think it was the Bucks final. Yeah. I saw. I knew they were headed for something good. Not too sure. I'm going to throw this one over to Caz to find out down the journey. Caz, you're going to find out. All right, okay. Moving on.
Just one more word. The WBBL. So the Leicester Riders set a record crowd for a WBBL crowd at the weekend. 1,312 people in their 62-44 win over the Seven Oaks Suns. So that's great. You love to see it. You love to see that support for the women's game. I know Newcastle had a record crowd last year. Let's just keep breaking it. Let's get people more interested, getting to the games, watching it, and breaking records.
It's just good. It's just good to see. I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to be negative. It's awesome. I really like what they're doing. Let's just get the rest of the league even close to that. Would be great. All right. We move on to. Let's just go quickly to the Phoenix versus Lightning. It was awesome. I can't remember the final score. Which is not very good preparation on my part, but I can talk about the game. I can talk about Bo Kramer. Oh my days. Bo Kramer is the real hooting deal. Oh my goodness. That woman. She can play some wheelchair basketball. So she is in the final score has not been updated on the women's Premier, but all right. Caz is on the hunt for the score, I'm sure. Loughborough won. They won it by about 10 from memory, but it wasn't a blowout. It was not any way, shape, or form. It could have been. It looked like going that way in the third, just a little bit. But the Phoenix did a fantastic job of settling themselves, getting back on defense, and really challenged Lightning. I'm going to suggest that is one of the tougher games the Lightning have had. But you've got Robin Love, you've got Bo Kramer, you've got Claire Griffiths, to name just three, Lucy Robinson as well, all playing really good, solid basketball. Robin Love, friend of Focus Hoops, big fan of Robin, was so excited to finally get to see her play live in person. Obviously, commentates with you, Caz, and you will have experienced it before me, but just bringing the ball up the floor, always looking out for Bo Kramer. And when you've got one of the best players on the planet to look out for, you're in a pretty great spot. And when you're Robin Love, one of the best players in this country, probably the best player in this country, that's for being completely honest, and one of the best players on the planet in her own right, then you've got something really special. Also, the number one wheelchair tennis player in Scotland. Just because she can. Robin just can do that.
Because she's like, I dominate wheelchair basketball. Let me just go dominate something else.
Yeah, why not, eh? Final score was 53-62 to the Lightning. Yeah, brilliant game. Highly recommend going back and watching it. Women's Premier League, British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube channel. Lightning was slightly hampered, more than slightly hampered, by the fact that Amy Conroy currently on a minutes restriction. And, you know, I will have definitely sung Amy's praises before, but a top athlete. One of, if not the fastest player in the league. The way that she can punish a team on a breakaway herself is incredible. Super quick, strong, finishes her shots that she makes from in close in particular, right under the basket, look impossible. And she's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. And Amy Conroy, I'm awesome. She's amazing. The passes, last year more so than this year, the passes her teammates put up for her, she has no business catching, and she'll just take it in. Just one arm, halfway out of it, like not halfway out of the chair, the chair's like halfway on over, yoink, finish. Unbelievable. Corinne Brown. We couldn't say enough good about Corinne Brown the other day on defense. I'm not even sure if she scored a point. Maybe she had 1-2 point shot, maybe. Corinne Brown is the reason, or a big chunk of the reason, why the score was only, what was the score? Remind me again. 53-62. Because Corinne Brown took away points single-handedly from the Loughborough Lightning that, let's just remind you, has a world, European, Paralympic champion at the same time, all in one player called Bo Kramer. Okay? It was brilliant. I had the best time commentating that game. I've been so excited for it as soon as, from when I knew I had it. I was telling you, I was just like, oh, I can't wait for this to get to see Robin Love and Bo Kramer. Yeah, it's a really exciting league. If you've not seen it, go and check it out. Phoenix have one more home game. That is on the 2nd of April, I want to say. I'm going to say the 2nd of April.
Right.
Sure hope it's the 2nd of April because I'm commentating it. Playing against Worcester at 3 p.m. Get yourself down there. Great atmosphere, great game, and, you know, there's always dogs there as well. So don't go to the dogs probably, but look at them. They're lovely. But yeah, Loughborough extend to 13-0. That's not this season.
That's last season as well.
That's the whole way through. They haven't been beaten. They are a behemoth.
And they took last year's team, and then they added Bo Kramer.
Yes, they lost Jude Hamer.
Yes.
To the Phoenix, and Jude Hamer was brilliant. I've not commented on her. Should have done. She was great this weekend. She was really excellent. She started the game really, really strong. She found her spot on the floor, hit some, you know, what looked to her like really comfortable, easy baskets. Loughborough made an adjustment. They made life a lot more difficult for her. So she struggled for a little while, made a counter adjustment herself, and then got back into her rhythm. Really, really impressive stuff. Yeah, the Hamer-Kramer experience a little bit as well. Those two picked each other up a little bit during the game. And we saw a bit of a more of a distribution-focused game from Becca Wheeler, as opposed to, she's a sharpshooter. She's unreal. But she didn't seem to be looking for shots. She was looking to facilitate, and she did a pretty good job of that. I would have just loved to have seen her just chuck up a few more efforts, because I think she had better looks than. But what do I know? I'm some bloke with a microphone who admittedly does know some stuff. Let's not talk us all down. But she's there. She's in the seat. She's in the thick of it. But she's such a good shooter. I just want to see her just shoot almost every time. Have I spoken about Freya Levy? Have I ever done that? I'm going to do that for one moment. She's a 3-sport athlete. We talk about one-sport athletes. We talk about Robin Love dominating in 2 sports. Freya Levy, wheelchair basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Wheelchair rugby league, including doing great work on the coverage for the World Cup, the Men's World Cup. Sled ice hockey. Caz, she's coming for your title as the busiest woman in sport.
That is impressive. That is impressive. Sled hockey is tough.
So is wheelchair rugby league.
Yeah, actually, and wheelchair basketball.
And wheelchair basketball. Wheelchair basketball looks like the most tiring activity in the world, especially when Amy Conroy's playing, and she's just absolutely hooning it down the floor.
The strange thing for me that I noticed when we're having started commentating wheelchair basketball this season, so there was a game earlier, and I was all of a sudden, I was like, oh my gosh, something smells like it's burning. I'm touching the laptop. I'm like, is something on fire? It's the tires. It's the tires, because they're going so fast. When someone told me what it was, I was like, that is unreal.
Oh, there was one moment of just unbelievable chair control from, I think it was Corinne Brown, and it was just to stop. I think it was to stop a backcourt violation, and she was that close to touching the line, and it was like, how have you done that? It's unreal. It's so the league's incredible. The games are always great fun to watch. Are they always super competitive? We can honestly say not for the full 40. There have been a couple of, decent victories taken, but they're always great to watch, great moments in the games, some brilliant action. And yeah, I highly recommend seeing that, because that one could be one of the best games the league has seen in its short history.
I think when the Phoenix and Lightning come against each other, it's always like a really exciting game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's become a rivalry.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And good to see the Phoenix with a couple of Welsh players. Loughborough with a couple of Welsh players as well. So just big shout out to the Welsh team. Production team did a good job with that game. They seem to have sorted the sound out. I'm not entirely sure which game you mean, Chester, but
what's a production team?
Well, Oh, sorry, BBC commentator. Oh, sorry, Great Britain's own commentator. Oh, sorry, mate. You know what a production team is. You just don't have them that often. All right. It is the save that for Caz's corner, yeah, mate. Jeez. Right. It is the EuroLeague Women's draw. It is arguably the most exciting time of the year. We are into the quarterfinals of the EuroLeague Women. So, the draw.
As much as I like this picture, it's a strange graphic. Not your choice, of the league's choice.
Yeah, Darren didn't make this graphic. It is initially, I saw it, I'm like, what is that? What is that? But actually, it's actually pretty cool, because it's showing the matchups for the semi-finals as well, or potential matchups. So on one side of the bracket, you've got Fenerbahce, who finished top of Group A with a 12-2 record, taking on Sopron.
And who plays for Fenerbahce?
Oh, just bloody name a top player, and she probably plays for them. Of course, the Satunicorn plays for them. Sopron, didn't they do pretty okay in this tournament last year?
They did, yes.
Did they beat Fenerbahce in the final last year?
I want to say they did.
As well. I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm certain.
You're saying it.
Doing the gimmick. They finished fourth in their group with an 8-6 record. So Fenerbahce are going to be out for revenge. Mm-hmm. They, in the semi-final, would meet either Familia Schio, who finished second in Group B with a 10-4 record, or Valencia, finished third in their group with a 9-5 record. So some pretty exciting. Well, I mean, any four of those combination, that's a really good first semi-final. Haha, I got you a drink of water. A really good semi-final in the final four. Let's go to the other side of the bracket. We have Mersin, who won Group B, 10-4 record, taking on Tango Borj Basket, 8-6 record, fourth in their group. And the other matchup will be Usk Praha taking on Performance Avenida with a 9-5 record. So, again, any combination of these teams going into the Final Four weekend is going to be pretty brilliant. I'm not looking past Fenerbahce if they perform as they should.
Yes, yeah, because there's not so they have got star after star, Emma Miesemann, Brianna Stewart, Courtney Vandersloot, to name just a few. But
Yakupova, like consistently the best woman on the planet.
But they haven't been together as long as some of the other teams, because I think that's Vandersloot only joined in, I want to say January, later in the season, so they've not had as much time together. But then you think, well, actually, they've all played together for Ekaterinburg forever anyway, so does it really matter? No, probably not.
I mean, you've got Satu Sabali coming off the bench. You've got Kia Stokes coming off the bench. You've got Courtney Vandersloot coming off the bench.
This is ridiculous. They have been beaten, though. They have been beaten this season.
They have been beaten, and they're not top in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Mersin are top in Turkey with the 19-2 standings. Fenerbahce 17-3.
And that starts next Tuesday, is the first round of the quarterfinals.
I'm excited, Caz. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
And all games on the FIBA YouTube, if people want to watch.
They have not lost since they lost to Mersin back on January 7th in round 14 of the Turkish regular season. They did lose. They had a 2-game losing skid in October. Back-to-back losses to Bottas and Polkovic.
So that was before.
And then they lost against Atamaru. That was all very strange stuff.
That was before, like, Stuart Van der Sloot joined, I believe.
I want to say yes, it was, because Sloot and Stuart didn't join until January. Was it 2022 they joined? 2023, sorry. Phoenix and Loughborough. Last time I tried to watch a BWB Premier League game, there was no sound. Yeah, we had a great production crew on the weekend. Oh, I wish I remember their company name. I'm sorry, I don't. But yeah, they did a really brilliant job. Looked after us really, really well and made sure that we'd air. And yeah, it was just a brilliant experience. Oh, just love commentating. It makes me so happy. Well, that's no good. Hi, internet's back. Chelsea Gray is the starting guard for Mersin. They've got Quinitra Hollingsworth, Dewana Bonner, Sinem Atus with Elizabeth Williams backing up, and Goxon Fittick, who is averaging 9 points per game as the shooting guard. So not a bad team, though. I think it's not an offensive thing to say, not nearly as star-studded as Fenerbahce, but they are top of the table. And they did top their group in EuroLeague. EuroLeague stats leader, by the way, here's a little fun one. Megan Gustafsson of Olympiacos. She averaging with average of 22.4. Olympiacos won 1 game in EuroLeague, but it is good to see Linos in EuroLeague. I think that is very positive. Anyway, Caz, who's winning the Final Four? Who's doing it? Who's taking the big one?
Fenerbahce or Praha?
That is spicy.
That's my final. That's my final, and I think it's going to be close.
It's your final. That is your final. Let me just triple check that can actually be the final.
Yeah,
it can be the final. All right.
I don't just make outlandish claims.
I've met you. They do have Brianna Jones, Temi Fagbenle.
Alyssa Thomas.
So,
yeah.
Mary Conde.
Yeah, they're and Avenida not as strong as last season. And the Samuelsons. Still very good, but I think Praha will edge it.
All right. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Yeah, not so many names that really jump off the screen at you at Avenida this year. They do have Bridget Carlton, who did she play at the World Cup? Did Canada make the World Cup? They did, didn't
they? Yes, Canada made the World Cup. Yes,
they did. Oh, yes. Forgive me. It's been
a while. Yeah, no, they were at the World Cup, and they did.
It's been a hell of a year for Darren.
They did make they made the playoffs, but lost in the first round.
Yeah, I've now personal update. I've now become an artist. I paint. Righto.
Takes requests as well. If anyone wants a request.
He actually does. I'm a little bit disappointed actually. I was expecting to see it a picture behind Caz, but no worries. Who cares for that? Who cares for that kind of thing? Caz's Corner. Caz, I'm putting you on the spot here because we didn't discuss Caz's Corner, but I know you're a pro. You're prepped.
Yes, yeah. So not so much Europe this week because we've just covered EuroLeague.
No.
But my worldwide wrap up, it's the WNBL Australia playoffs at the moment. So we've got two semi-finals at the moment. So it is Southside Flyers and Melbourne Boomers and Townsville Fire and Perth Lynx. So currently Southside up 1-0 and Townsville up 1-0 as well. Southside had Lauren Jackson playing for them this season. She's been so good. And she's really, unfortunately, out with an Achilles injury. So she's not playing, but she's still around, and they're still winning without her. And it would just be a great storybook ending, I guess, if she's still with the team and they can get to the grand final and win against Townsville, who is my... I think they're going to beat Perth.
Yeah.
I mean, Carly Samuelson has been amazing for Townsville Fire this season, and they've also picked up Shyla Heal, who's moved from the Sydney Flames 2/3 of the way into the season. And yeah, they're just
that was. I know that you and I have met and spoken socially recently, but just briefly talk to us about the Shyla Heal.
So Shyla Heal playing for the Sydney Flames, big, for people that don't know, a big name in Australia, very talented player. Yeah. Shane Heal, her dad, again, very talented player in his day, and coaches a team. So he was away from the team for a few games, and there's been a statement put out by the organisation, some legal action going on between him and them. So he's, I guess, essentially been fired, I guess. I don't know if that's the right term, by the team. But Shyla Heal has stepped away for personal reasons and was given permission to join another team, the Townsville Fire. And because she played you have to play a third of the season to be eligible for playoffs. And because Townsville had 7 games left, which is a third of the season, she played all those games. She's eligible to play in the playoffs. So nobody really knows what's going on. There's been a few statements put out, and it's probably a bit of a messy situation, but it's really good to see Shyla being able to play because the league's better with her in it. And she's a very talented player. So it's good that she's been able to get picked up by Townsville.
I'm going to dive in Caz's European corner wrap up, because it's probably, the games will have been played by the time we next speak. It is Euro Cup women semi-finals. That always catches me out how quickly that comes around. Lyon taking on Villeneuve. Now, Lyon didn't win their group. They came second in Group K. Villeneuve did win their group. They won the group with the London Lions in it. The other side of the bracket is Galatasaray and Venezia. Wait, Galatasaray? Yes, Galatasaray. Sorry, I'm thinking of Olympiacos. Galatasaray. Did Galatasaray win their group? I don't think they did. They did not. They came second. And who are they playing? They're playing Venezia. Did Venezia win their group? They did. They stomped their group, actually. They won it 6-0. Estudiantes played. Anyway, those are the semi-final matchups. Game 1 of the semi-finals are this week on the 17th and 16th of, that's helpful. Villeneuve and Lyon are on the 17th. Galatasaray and Venezia are on the 16th. I know the semi-finals were a best of 3 series. No, they weren't. They were a head-to-head. No, they weren't. They were a best of 2. And I'm pretty sure the semi-finals are also a best of 2. So an aggregate score.
Ooh, aggregate.
My dude, Melly Greta, playing in European competition, as she should, frankly. London Lions, sign her up. She's amazing. Or, Caledonia. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
I've been saying this for years, but could you imagine Melly Greta in this country, in this league? Oh, my God. Convince her to join Manchester. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
She'd be your favourite player. She might become your favourite player ever. Right on.
I have a lot of favourite players ever.
Hey?
I have a lot of favourite players ever.
I know. But just imagine her in a Mystics jersey. It'd be outrageous. Okay. Go on, Caz. We've got to call it a day. No stat line of the week this week?
I I'm going to break my own rule and give it to Holly Winterburn, who had a triple-double for the second time in her career.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she had 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Yeah, that was the right way around. In the Lions win at the weekend. Yeah, second time in her career. I just love watching Holly Winterburn. She's great. She's fantastic. Yeah. And yeah, triple-double in the WBBL. But also mentioned to Kayla Shaw for Nottingham, 9 threes, 9 of them in a game, 36 points. It was outrageous. Playing for Nottingham.
It's a big number.
It is 9.
How many points you get in the whole game?
36 points, yeah. I wonder what the record. I don't know what the record is for threes in a game.
In a WBBL game. Well, if you don't know, then the rest.
I know Renee Bush had 7 a couple of years ago, and that was a record then. But I don't know if anyone's broken it since. I don't want to do anyone a disservice.
I wonder if Cassie Breen might have.
Oh, she could have had a few, couldn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. She loved the 3-pointer.
Oh. Yeah, she did. She did.
I miss seeing Cassie Breen play. Anyway, that's enough of that. Before I get all.
Before we go, though, we should mention the big news of the Eurobasket draw. So GB has applied for Eurobasket, and the Eurobasket draw took place yesterday. They're in Group C with France, Germany, Slovenia, which is a tough group. I mean, they're all tough groups because it's the last 16, but it feels tough. Marine Johannes, Gabby Williams in France. Yeah. I'm excited for that one, though. I'm excited to watch.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. A
bit of revenge after losing to France last time, as well. The last time round.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Will France make the final and lose again? That's the storyline I'm going for. I'm coming across very negative today. I'm really not. I'm very happy. I leave that to Chema. Tough pool for GB. I mean, they're all tough. Like whoever you get, they're tough. Mm-hmm. Like for me, like you're completely right, Jeff. So I don't disagree with you. But as a disgraced professional wrestler once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And you don't win a European Championship. You don't win a World Cup without beating the best. Best there is. Anyway, I'm going to stop with that. Right, Caz, get your plugs in.
Oh, my plug, like actual plugs. Oh, yes. The WNBL Division 2, the Manchester Mystics are playing the Stockport Lapwings on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Going to be a very exciting game, live on the Manchester Magic and Mystics YouTube channel or at the Whalley Range Basketball Centre in Whalley Range. So come down, watch it on YouTube. It's going to be a great game. Really good matchup between these two teams. That's my plug. Yeah, you can follow me on Hooping Kazzy B.
My plugs. What have we got? What are we doing? Oh yeah, Anglia Ruskin. Anglia Ruskin taking on TVC this weekend in the big one. Live on the folks' YouTube channel. It's going to be a really enjoyable game. Watch out for Ryan Rawlings. She's been excellent for Anglia Ruskin this year. She came in captain in her first season. I mean, that says an awful lot. As an import player, as somebody who's never played in the country before, new to her teammates, and they're like, you are our captain. Awesome. Also, other big stories with Anglia Ruskin. They had a bunch of players come back, including Mariana Maddaloni, who former captain of the club. Wonderful human, really good assist. Has a solid 3-point shot, and Nadej Talva, who has not missed a beat. I'm upset with Nadej for not playing in the league last year because she's come back and it has been incredible. She looks like she's really enjoying basketball as well. So awesome job all around at ARU. They're having a really positive year. So join us on the YouTube channel, Focus Hoops YouTube, where you are right now. Join us there on Saturday or live at about 5 to 4. So that's it for me. You can follow me on Twitter. It's @OurWade'sTouch. I do not tweet very often, but you're welcome to follow me there if you want to know what I think about professional wrestling. All right, that's going to do it for us. Kazzy B, thank you as always, my friend.
Thank you. It's been fun. It's been fun. Let's not be as sporadic as we were saying before.
I can't promise that.
We'll do what we can.
We'll see you soon.
Maybe.